National Ownership Unit 11 Summary. Construction laws and regulations. If a property is built with any money from a federal program, the property must be approved in advance and be inspected by the proper agency as the construction progresses. HUD's minimum property standards provide minimum standards for HUD-regulated single-family and multifamily construction projects. The Interstate Land Sale Full Disclosure Act guards consumers against fraud by requiring developers to disclose relevant information about subdivisions before purchase. The National Electric Code provides standards for wiring and electrical equipment. The Americans with Disabilities Act ensures that accessibility standards will be observed in certain types of residential construction. Cities, counties, and local governments have the power to impose their own land use regulations and building codes. These laws may not be in opposition to any federal or state laws. Most legislation is overseen by the EPA. Applicable legislation includes the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969. Site requirements. Requirements for wells concern placement for access, freedom from flooding, and away from sources of contamination. Requirements for septic systems concern proper design, construction, and maintenance, suitable soil, and adequate land area. Foundations. The footing holds the entire weight of the building. If the area between the foundation walls has been excavated deeply enough to provide headroom, then a basement has been created. If the foundation area is only partially excavated, then what results is a crawl space. The foundation wall of a basement and floors that come in contact with soil must be treated for ground and surface water seepage by the placement of a vapor barrier. When the ground at a building site is level, the developer can use a slab-on-grade foundation. The slab is a flat concrete pad poured directly on the ground. Framing. Wood framing refers to the framework of the structure. The pieces of wood used are studs. Studs used to frame the roofing system are rafters. In platform frame construction, first floor joists are completely covered with subflooring to form a platform upon which exterior walls and interior partitions are erected. In balloon frame construction, exterior wall studs continue through the first and second stories. In post and beam construction, wider beams are spaced up to 8 feet apart. Floor framing consists of a system of sills, girders, joists, and floor trusses, and subflooring that provides support for floor loads and gives lateral support to exterior walls. A sill plate is a wooden support member that is laid on top of and bolted to the foundation wall. When 2 or more joists are required to cover the span, support is provided for the joist ends by girders or support beams. Sometimes the main floor beam of the structure is supported by lally columns. Roof construction must be strong enough to withstand anticipated snow and wind loads. Carpenters build rafters to frame the pitch or slope of the roof. The roof ridge beam is the highest part of the frame and forms the top line of the roof. The roof sheathing is made up of wood structural panels or 1-inch board lumber, which provides a solid base for roof coverings. Wall framing refers to both the exterior and interior walls. Walls that support the ceiling and the roof are called bearing walls. Headers are required at window and door openings to carry vertical loads across the opening. Finishing. Roof finishing. The overhangs are called eaves. The contractor installs a thin, impermeable material called flashing to prevent water penetration and/or provide water drainage between the roof and the walls. The term fascia is used to describe the vertical fascia board, which caps the end of rafters outside the building. The finished surface below the fascia and rafters is called the soffit. Wall finishing. The high resistance of wood frame construction to hurricane, earthquake, and other natural forces is provided when wood sheathing is nailed to the outside edges of exterior wall studs, plates, and headers. For interior wall finishing, contractors use plasterboard, wallboard, drywall, or sheetrock. Insulation. The R value is the degree or resistance to the heat transfer. Categories of insulation include loose fill, bats and blankets, rigid board, spray, and reflective. Major mechanical systems, HVAC. Ventilation is the intentional movement of air from outside a building to the inside. Ventilation air is that air used for providing acceptable indoor air quality. Residential heating systems typically fall into one of these categories: hot water, steam, forced air, or electric. Air conditioning systems are combined with forced air heating units to deliver heat through the ductwork system in cold seasons and cool, dehumidified air for air conditioning through the same ducts during warm seasons. The most common type of heat pump is the air source. Higher efficiencies are achieved with geothermal heat pumps. A British thermal unit, BTU, is the amount of heat energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 pound of water by 1 degree Fahrenheit. Major mechanical systems. Plumbing. Hot water heaters can be gas, electric, tankless, or solar. The types of pipe used in plumbing include 1. Cast iron, 2. Galvanized, 3. Copper, 4. PVC, 5. Brass, and PEX. Pipes that are too small prevent the pressure from moving the water to the fixtures. Pressure regulating valves can reduce and maintain the correct water pressure within the system, while a booster pump can increase the pressure if needed. The vent system allows gases and odors to circulate up through the system and escape into the outside air. Major mechanical systems. Electrical. Voltage is a measure of how much pressure the electrons in a circuit are under. Amperage, in watts, is a measure of the number of electrons moving through the circuit. A fuse melts and breaks the circuit when the current exceeds a certain value. A circuit breaker stops the flow of electric current in a suddenly overloaded circuit. Wiring materials include aluminum or copper, BX cable, Romex cable, conduit, and Greenfield conductors. The National Electric Code covers the installation of electrical conductors, equipment, and optical fiber cables.